Guys, I translated the Iranian top general. He spoke in Farsi in Iran, and I translated to English, and I brought some of the major points to you. If you've been watching my videos, you can see that the information that I brought to you is a lot more advanced than you can find on CNN or NBC or other people, because I can understand Farsi and I listen to see what they're saying and then bring that information to you. So this video was done on the 9th day of the war, and this is what the guy has, the general has said. So let's dive in. He said a lot of different things. Number one, he said that Iran has the ammos, the rockets, everything they need for 10 years of fighting. Okay, and the reason is that as they shoot off these rockets, they're building them up internally with their students and the people who are building them as they're shooting them. This is very, very important. Okay. He also said that Iran has made the U.S. ships, the ones that the Epstein regime was, prating about on TV, made them run away 2 times because Iran has targeted them. Okay, one time with missiles, the next time with a drone. All right. He also said that Trump said that he wants to send U.S. ships to the Strait of Hormuz, and that Iran will hit these ships again, and that not only that they're praying for this to happen. They're like begging God, come down here, because what they're saying is that the U.S. ships are 1,000 kilometers away from the Iranian, and therefore because they know they can get hit. Okay, and they're not bringing the ships closer to them. Okay. Now, the other thing he was saying is that Iran is using less than 10% of his navy, that they only brought less than 10% of their navy to the chessboard, to the arena of the fight. Okay, and that's very important. Okay, they're waiting for us to bring their ships down here for them to knock them out. Okay. He also said that when they say that they hit up our launchers, blah blah blah, that that Iran has underground launchers, right? They're not going to be able to hit. And also the ones that they hit from trucks, that for every one that they hit, they have 400 more to replace them, since they've been preparing for this war for 47 years. Okay. He said that according to his intelligence, that the U.S. wanted to fight like a 12-day war, like they did it just like a year ago or something, 6 months ago, and that, but instead Iran doesn't want to do that, and therefore they have hit all their radars, all their Gulf state puppets, etc. He also said that the U.S. bases were hit. As I brought to you guys on the very first day, in the first 24 hours, all U.S. bases have been hit. And before I did this video, some guy was saying that that there was like over 170 U.S. troops casualties. So what I reported to you guys days before, the information is just not coming out because I'm listening to what their guys are saying. So anyways, they said that they hit the U.S. bases, all of them, and not once, multiple times. Okay, and this is important too. He said that the U.S. bases are now left basically empty. They're not usable because the people are know they're going to get hit. They also said that sometimes they hit their radar and they sent like repair crews to fix them, and they'll hit them again. You know what I'm saying? After a few days, and destroy plus their repair guys. All right. Let's see what else he said. I just took notes because it was like an hour worth of listening to what he said. All right, so I talked about that. He said that the U.S. bases around the area are empty because they know they're getting hit. And not only have they hit them one time, they've hit them multiple times. Some of them are not even operable anymore. Okay. All right. He said that the people are coming out, the Iranian people, he said the Iranian people are coming out every night. They're staying up to like 2 in the morning and shouting for them, for the military, to continue fighting. Okay, and he said that every night is getting bigger and bigger, and he said that the people are demanding for the military to fight. Okay, and this was, backed up by one of the famous U.S. journals that printed that how the Iranian were coming up just recently. So that backs that up, right? He said that Iran has not shown all their power to the enemy, and that all at the right time, these moves will come into play on the chessboard. So he's saying that, hey, we haven't showed our military, we haven't showed our navy, there's other, missiles and other things that we have not showed you guys. That's why, we were stronger, but we played it down, and you guys thought that we were weaker. In that sense, I'm adding that part to it. That's not what he said, but in that sense, okay. Now he also talks about the Arabs, right? He says, hey, Arabs, like the Arab state, the Gulf states, he's like, why did you host, the U.S. bases? He said, like, why did you give them like thousands of acres of land to use, right? Why did you do that? Okay, and he says that we're only attacking the specific point where the U.S. bases are, and since they're fleeing to residential, then we're hitting them where they are, basically. Okay, but he says, like, why did you give them their land? And he says, now that you have, he says that now stay quiet, right? Let us kick them out of your country. It will benefit you as well, right? He said, like, hey, just stay quiet. We will fucking do the hard work by kicking the U.S. bases, all of them, out. It's basically sending the U.S. out of the region, right? And what you got to do is just shut up and stay quiet, and I'm adding that to it because that's what they did with Palestine. They just watched them, their own brothers, Arabs, they speak the same language. Watch them then do shit, right? All right. He also said that they have hit all the bases. He said the U.S. have, okay, this is very important too. He says that the U.S. has removed more than 30,000 people from the U.S. bases and back to U.S. Or that's what he said. Okay, over 30,000 people, if that includes like embassy workers, if that includes like troops, he didn't specify, but he said they moved over 30,000 people from the bases back to the U.S. Now, he also talked about the launchers, and he said that, our launchers, majority of them are like underneath the water, and they haven't even seen those. Those are things that he said we haven't even brought those items to the chessboard yet, right? They're on the water, they're on land, they're underneath the ground. They're not just like truck launchers only, okay? He said that that Iran has destroyed 5 THAAD radar missile systems, and that the U.S. is bringing some from other parts of the world because they're in a shortage, like I think Korea, if I'm not mistaken. Then he also talked about the Kurds and how America was talking about on their media that they're trying to get small fractions of people on the outskirts of Iran, for them to come and attack. And he said that the Epstein regime got together with like 20,000, close to 20,000 military people, 10 and 10 or something, somewhere around there, up south and north or something like that. And they try to bribe them and give them money and incentives. And he was saying, the general was saying that, hey, remember when he was talking to the Kurds now, he says, remember when the Daesh terrorist group was attacking you and you called us and we came and saved you? Now he's talking to the Kurdish people, the people that want to get the Epstein regime wants to against the Iranians. He said, remember we came and bailed you out and we put out the terrorist group. He says, be strong men and decline the U.S. and Zionist regime. Otherwise, Iran will burn your places down. And the people, and he says that also whenever you guys, if you decide, he says, you're not going to do this, but if you decide to come here, he said the people of their land in Iran will tear you from pieces to pieces, not including the military, not including the missiles and drones, none of that stuff, just the people itself. Okay? He said, we will fight to stop it, basically. He said that, he said this time Iran will fight the U.S. bases until they leave. Okay, the reporter asked him, look, when do you think this war is going to stop? And he said, hey, we're going to fight. We're going to continue fighting to basically, U.S. leaves the region, okay? Because U.S. has harmed us, they've attacked us, they've killed our leader, and we have them at the throat, and we're not going to let them go. That's what he said. He says he has the U.S. by the throat, he's not going to let them go. And from the reports that I'm seeing, the reports that I've given, it may be, you know, more truth to that than being discussed in America. He says that when U.S. bases leave the area, Israel will be no more. Okay, and before that, he said that when the U.S. bases leave, that Israel will then be a a good actor because anyone can throw some water on them and basically wash their country away. So then they'll be a better actor in the region. But later on, he went and said that once the U.S. bases leave, Israel will be no longer. So I'm not sure if he's talking about just like, the people of that country are going to just get on their fucking next visa or next, citizenship and bail out like they bailed in, because most of them are not even, born there. They were like settler colonists. But this is what I'm bringing to you, what the general has said, and I sit there, and it was like I said, it was an hour-long audio, and I listened to it. There was other stuff that he has said, but I thought these were some of the most important parts to bring to you, because it's going to affect us. Remember, this was day 9. Now, one thing I didn't say about this thing, and this is very crucial, throughout the whole thing that this guy was talking about, was an hour long. There was like 2 parts of it, maybe like a minute long. You could hear the bombings, boom, 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 and then a few minutes, boom, boom. And these guys, man, I mean, like the first time they heard it, you could feel it. They noticed it, but they were just continuing with their job. They didn't give a shit, dude. You know what I mean? And it was crazy to be able to hear it in the audio because it was so loud and it was just like rapid. And this guy was probably in Tehran getting hit. And Tehran is like a big city, right? Imagine like Russia start bombing California at every square of it. They carpet bomb it, right? Shock and awe. How would you feel about that, right? Think about that. Anyways, guys, thank you for clicking the like button. I'd like to hear what you think. Leave a comment below, subscribe, and don't take no for an answer. Peace.